Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a Tier 9 game in my Tier 7 Haida. Going over the matchmaking. Potentially only radar threat is the Neptune. Gorzia with the sap can be a pain in the butt. DD wise, Fletcher, Kitakaze, Mayhan Z39. Haida's in an interesting situation for a Tier 7 destroyer. Most Tier 7 destroyers really struggle trying to find their place when they are when they're bottom tier, and even with being bottom tier here, I actually outspot all of the enemy DDs, and that's going to give me an advantage. And yeah, haven't played Haida in a very long time, and I've been playing Russian gunboats, so had some four-letter words at the moment there. But basically the idea is I've got a Neptune right behind me, I've got a Tashkent, I've got an Iowa pushing in aggressive. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I am going to push right up to CCAP. I'm going to try to spot DDs, spot the enemy, figure out where things are going, and try to settle this matter of CCAP as quickly as I can. Now, while we're waiting for the enemy team to show up, let's talk about Haida for a minute. Haida is a DD that's I file it in the same category as Black. It's an exceptional destroyer when it comes to fighting other destroyers with cap control, things like that. Haida is going to struggle at killing battleships, killing cruisers, things like that. I am running IFHE on this build, so that's that's me trying to help shoot cruisers, maybe pin lower tier battleships bows, that sort of thing. Using my detection, picked up this Mayhan. I'm trying to see if this Goriza, or however the hell you say it, will fire and smoke it. Try to pick this guy up for my team, and the Goriza runs outside of the Mayhan smoke, and basically in the face of my Iowa, he goes on ahead and pops his own smoke as well. Now you really gotta watch that smoke with those Italian cruisers, and boom. I originally thought that this Neptune would be smoke because they almost always are smoke in random battles. This dude's running radar, so take a look at the damage mitigation technique. Just angling right away from the Neptune. He's bouncing most of his shots. Goriza thankfully has AP loaded. He ends up bouncing most of his shots, and I end up in a favorable situation where radar's down, and I'm able to just kite back. So I push back up. I do spot the Fletcher, and right now I'm hydroed by the Goriza. So I'm just taking this opportunity to kite, try to deal some damage to this Fletcher. The Fletcher's distracted, and I mean, couple big hits right there. Oof. 2,500 followed by 3K. That hurts. So just gonna keep kiting back with try to get back out of hydro range. This push by the Gorizas really cost him. My eye was able to put the Goriza down, and that leaves the enemy team on this flank with a crippled Fletcher and down a Gorizia. So all in all, a pretty solid start. I am throwing some torps out there. I'm expecting that this FDG is going to try to push aggressive right through here. It's kind of throwaway torpedoes because he likely has hydro up. I'm going to step back on the cap. I'm going to try to shift back over to try to reacquire the FDG. There's the Azuma. FDG is not pushing in, so those torpedoes are most likely wasted. And I'm just trying to spot for my team right here. There's the Neptune running away. That's a critical spot right there. That tells me that I'm safe here. I don't need to worry about radar or anything like that. And I wasn't watching the mini-map for my teammates, but my Tashkent is suiciding. Pushes in there, gets spotted, tries to turn out, and that's that. So enemy DD is on CCAP, and basic arithmetic, my Missouri's heading towards B. It's just me and this Iowa, so I'm going to start bailing on this cap. It's too hot here right now, and I'm going to switch from trying to contest a cap to now I'm pretty much as soon as I pop my speed boost, I've made the decision I'm just going to delay this flank. So I'm going to throw... Do I torp this? No, I don't think I do. Yeah, I'm waiting for this Iowa. I expect this Iowa to come around and try to bow tank right up in here against my Iowa. Do take a shot at the Mahan right there, see if I can get resets, but the shells are just too slow. So I am going to use this opportunity to use my first smoke, and you know, this is what people pay money to have. Haida. This smoke is really interesting as long as you stay, you know, relatively slow. You're able to capitalize on having basically a huge duration smoke screen. Trying to put my shots into the Iowa. One thing to note, Haida has terrible gun arcs. You look how much broadside I've got to give to get all of my guns on target. Now here there's some games that you can play, but this Iowa's still in the smoke, so it's not really working. Where I'm trying to spot the Iowa outside of my smoke. I'm actually AFK right now because number 2 needed out of his high chair. But what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to play peekaboo with my smoke, spot the guy. Okay, let's spot him long enough, get some torps off. And I'm trying to spot him long enough where I can get some shots off into him. Got to get the boat slowed down just enough for it to work. But with practice, that's how you can use this smoke, where you just kind of blip in and out of concealment, and you're able to shoot the enemy while avoiding most of their return fire. Do land a torpedo hit here. Unfortunately, no flood. And I'm just going to start kiting back. And I'm kiting because it's risky for me to stay smoked up that long. You see how bad the spotting was the entire time I was smoked up. Unfortunately, there's just no spotting on this flank other than me right now. And that's really going to have an effect on my ability to deal damage. So what I'm doing, I'm splitting from the Iowa. I imagine this Iowa is going to be getting focused down by the enemy Iowa and FDG soon. And I'm getting an angle where I can let this Iowa basically do his thing and kite, and I'll be able to use the Iowa as a spotter for this next smoke screen. And I'm going to start opening up early because I know my Iowa's starting to get low, and I want to try to pull as much heat off him as possible. So Soon as people start looking at me, I go on ahead, I pop my smoke. I achieved what I wanted. I got them rotating their guns my way. FDG popped his damage control. So just trying to get some stuff out on the Iowa. Switching back to the FDG, see if I can get some follow-up fires. Going a little too fast here. You got to really try to keep that speed down. But these guys really want to shoot me bad. And that works because this is all, damage that I'm pulling off the Iowa right now. Unfortunately, that fire was on the Iowa, not the FDG. You'll notice I'm kiting back right now because I'm trying to make sure that I stay hydro safe from the FDG. I think he was trying to push my smoke with his hydro at that moment in time, and I'm you're gonna see him turn south eventually, and I take that as his hydro running out, and that's him basically getting too low HP, um, and once I see the Fletcher start trying to shoot my smoke, I pretty much give up on trying to use this smoke to to farm damage. It's more important that I stay alive and provide spotting, those types of things. So I'm just kiting back, and you can see the FDG is completing his turnout right now. The Iowa's already turned away. Now the effect that this is going to have is these DDs are still chasing me. So at some point, it's going to open up a window of opportunity to hunt this Fletcher and this and this Mayhem. Good lord. So right now the FDG is starting to turn south a bit, and I'm just going to turn north, and I'm going to try to wrap around and start pushing this Mayhem. I know he's up there, waiting for my smoke to come back off cooldown. I'll have hydro, but I'm up against the clock here. This game's kind of stretched on too long for me to be able to make this move. Just really wanted to kill these DDs, but their battleships were just really pushed up aggressive, and kind of is what it is kind of situation. So Mahan, he gets spotted. Something's going on with this guy's ship. I don't think he's got concealment expert or retraining a captain or something. He's spotted from the moon. But the game ends before I can really deal significant damage to the Mahan, unfortunately, because that's would have been a nice boost to my XP here. But this was, this was me knocking the snowflake off the Haida as I'm going through tier 7, and figured I would go on ahead and post a game for you guys since had a subscriber that was interested in looking or seeing a Haida game. And by all means, not the be all end all, but this was a pretty solid game, being bottom tier. And you kind of see me balancing caution versus the aggression to try to have the impact on the game. Um, and that's pretty much that. To put it in perspective, Haida typically does not deal this level of damage. Um, this game, the PR rating for it was 3,251, to put it in perspective of what it did stats wise. So you have games like this. This is an absolute barn burner for your PR. I think the average damage for Haida, last I checked, it's like under 40k. So, obviously, being able to deal damage like this really can boost your PR if you're looking at your stats to do those sorts of things. Haida is a premium ship, so here's the end plates. This is basically what that performance netted me. If you guys have any questions or comments about the ship, leave the comments below, and I will do what I can to answer them. Hope you guys are having a good night, and I will talk to you later.